Hey everybody, welcome back. And in this section, we are going to create a virtual machine on Microsoft Azure Cloud and will access from a user point of view. This is going to be the lab topology. I will be creating this virtual machine for Windows operating system, and this will be part of the VNet 1 with the range 10.10.0/0/16, and I will be putting this virtual machine in public subnet, which we have covered earlier, and the range for this subnet is 10.10.2.0/24. And then I will access from my personal laptop to this machine while doing the RDP. It's time to create a virtual machine. I'm logged into my Azure portal, and from search bar you can find the Azure services, which is going to be the virtual machine. You can type it here, virtual machine, and under the services you can see the virtual machines. Click on that. This is showing all the virtual machines I already have on my portal. However, this time I'm going to create a new one. So click on create a new one. The basic information you need to pass is going to be the subscription as usual. I have a default subscription. If you have multiple, choose the appropriate one. Then choose a resource group. In my case, I'm going to choose the lab. And this virtual machine name, I want to give it Windows VNet 1 and 01. It means it's the first machine which is going to be the Windows, and that is going to be the part of the VNet 1. Region is going to be the same, Central India, because my VNet 1 belongs to Central India. I am not going to change it. Availability zone. At this moment, I do not need any infrastructure to set up high availability. However, in this lecture only, I'm going to discuss all those options what we have here. Security type is going to be the standard. And now it's time to choose the image. And I'm going to create Windows 11 Pro. VM architecture, it is going to be x64. And size for this machine, you can choose the one which works for you. I'm going to choose the first one because it is going to charge you the minimum amount. And then it is asking you the username and password. I will use, so far I've given my username and the password. And inbound port rule, this is basically going to allow port RDP, which is needed to access it over the internet, which is going to be 3389. In the next section, it is going to ask you what kind of OS disk you need. If you're looking for higher performance, then go for premium. You can also go for SSD. I can also go for standard. So this time, let's choose the standard one. And now let's go to the networking. In networking, you can see the VNet 1 is going to be the virtual network, and the subnet, I want to make it part of the public, which is going to be the 10.10.2.0. And then you need to give a public IP. If you remember our earlier discussion, this is going to be the optional. If you have some sort of the backdoor entry, maybe from express route or maybe from some sort of the VPN connectivity, you may choose for none. If you have only one way to access, in my case, I do not have any backdoor, so I will be accessing this public IP address. So I'm going to create a new, and one more thing to be noticed, if you have public IP already created, you can associate that public IP address here to the virtual machine, and that should be standard. Network security groups. This is going to be the basic. However, you have option, you can go for none and advanced. Let's keep it basic as of now. And public inbound port, it is going to be 3389. Next is going to be, I'm going to leave all these settings to default, even the monitoring, and let's hit review and create. Now we can see validation has been passed, and this VM is going to cost me 6.569 INR per hour. You can also validate if this is the information you wanted to have. And now I'm going to hit create. It is going to take a couple of minutes to get the resource ready. So I will pause my video and come back once this VM is ready. Now we see that the deployment is completed and it's time to verify the resource what we provision. So click on go to the resources. Here you can see in overview, this is a virtual machine which is being named as Windows VNet 1-01. It is running a Windows 11 operating system, and the size for this machine is DS1B2. The status is running. It is located in Central India as part of the resource group lab. The public IP which is allocated to this machine is 20.244.113.78. It is part of the VNet 1 and subnet is public. That is the public IP address, and now we see the private IP address which is 10.10.2.4. If you recall our earlier discussion, it is a /24 range for the public subnet, and we see the assignment start from .4. It means the first three IPs, those were reserved, they are not getting assigned, and that is expected as well. Now, since we have the public IP address, it's time to do the RDP and see if that works. So I copied this public IP address from here. It's time to launch RDP session. For the IP address which we copied belongs to new virtual machine what we have created. So let's do that. In search bar, I can type remote desktop connection and put the IP address and click on connect. It will ask for username and password. Now it has initiated connection to new virtual machine. Now we are inside the virtual machine. Let's verify the IP address what we have here. So I'm going to launch a command prompt. And put the command IP config. Now we can see this was the first IP address which was allocated to this machine from a range of 10.10.2.0, and gateway is 10.10.2.1. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next section.